Good afternoon, everybody. So we will start the webinar now. Um, First of all, thank you very much for joining the webinar during this festival season. Uh, uh, since Ganesh festival is there, and I know many of us will be occupied at some home activities as well. So thank you very much for joining. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, because people are joining from different continent. So and working in different time zones, since it is a global webinar. So thank you very much for joining, and we will start this webinar. My name is Murlidhar Remne. So I'll be moderating today's webinar. I have with me Mr. Ashish Sarode, who is our subject matter expert, and he will be um, uh, demonstrating the application as well as briefing the application of Crave calibration. So as mentioned here, the topic of today's webinar is digitalize your calibration process with Crave cCalibration solution. So cCalibration is the product name of Crave Infotech. I just wanted quickly walk you through the organization, who we are, what we do in just few minutes before starting the subject of the webinar. So we are a 13 years old organization, Crave Infotech, operational from 2007, working very closely with SAP from our inception from 2007. We have all three partnerships: SAP Sale, Build, and Services. We also call it as a co-innovate with SAP. And along with SAP, we also have associated with Zebra. For Zebra is a premium mobile computing devices manufacturer. We are premium ISV as well as reseller with Zebra. We are also associated with Here Technologies, who is again global leader in geo enablement solutions. We are associated with them as a ISV, technology ISV as well as reseller. Our head office is in New Jersey, USA, and we have physical bases in USA, India, Brazil, and Africa. And from here, we are serving our global customers. We have a number of customers in North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. So just to brief you about our services, as I mentioned, we are working predominantly in digital transformation. So SAP Intelligent Enterprise is one of the service offering wherein we work for organizations for SAP ECC and S4HANA, working as an implementation partner, doing customization, migration, and support services there in SAP Intelligent Enterprise space. Along with that, we also have our own pre-packaged solutions. We have 40 plus solutions, pre-packaged solutions in the journey of digital transformation for organizations, and I'll brief you on that. Zebra and Here Technology, I already talked to you on that. So if you look at right hand side on my screen, these are our business verticals. Warehouse management, this is our one of the focus areas. um, Pre-packaged solutions in various functionalities of the organization. Enterprise asset management, we'll talk more about that today, especially with the calibration. We also have service vertical for SAP BTP, Business Transformation Technologies, in AI RPS space mainly. And along with that, we also have dedicated vertical for field services and supply chain. So these are the business verticals of the organization. Though we have I'm talking about the availability of these applications on SAP App Center, which is mentioned over here. These applications also work for non-SAP environment. Just let me tell you, because many of the companies or people joining here today, they may not be having SAP backend. Okay, SAP ERP, they will be working with a different ERP, and our solutions work well with other ERPs as well. The purpose of mentioning, because being SAP partner, the solutions, the is integration with SAP is already considered during this application development. So if you look at this chain diagram, we are almost touching every functionality of the organizations. So in enterprise asset management, we are covering C maintenance is our, these are our applications, C maintenance, C calibration, through which we are automating complete plant maintenance activity. It starts with preventive maintenance, corrective maintenance, breakdown, and calibration. Along with that, field service manager, this is field schedule, flexible scheduling, planning workbench. These are other modules we are covering in enterprise asset management. In supply chain, warehouse is our again proven product. Inbound, outbound delivery, stock transfer, stock returns, everything is, all the warehouse management functionalities have been covered over there. In direct store delivery, it's especially required in during current pandemic situation, where is complete delivery automation with any paperless activity is taking place. So delivery, field sales, field return, route optimization, everything is considered over here. And along with that, in supply chain vertical, we are also covering vendor side automation. It's a vendor portal in which vendors, they can see their orders, they can do the ASN, they can um, upload the invoices, they can track their payments and so on. And similarly, we also have customer side automation, wherein the field sales force, they can do the placing of the order on behalf of customers when they are on the go, and they can check the credit limit, place the orders and so on. And in customer portal, customers, they can view the catalog, they can place the order, they can track the deliveries, and they can do the payments online. So these are certain functionalities which normally every organization require, including management dashboard or approval process automation when business on the go for key executives like purchase head, sales head, finance head, to approve the invoices, check the notifications, approve the work orders, sales orders, credit limits, leave and time sheets for project managers, and so on. So these are all the functionalities we are covering through our various applications in the journey of digital transformation for organizations. So to whom we are helping, we are covering almost we are working across industries: life science, automotive, manufacturing. These are the focused industries. Along with that, utilities, oil and gas, retail chain, public sector. These are the industries we are covering. And to our credit, we have worked with some of the big names in India and globally. You can see they are from different verticals. They are from pharma, they are from manufacturing, they are from oil and gas, utility, power, and engineering industries. So thanks for be patient and listening to me for the organization profile, and I'll come to today's agenda. So it's today we'll be discussing mainly about calibration management. Okay, unprecedented pressures about paperless activity from COVID-19 disruption and rising customer expectations. That is the main we will discuss today. Then we will also discuss how we can digitalize complete calibration management to gain efficiencies, cut cost, and scale the operations. So along with that, we will also have the calibration application demo, cCalibration demo. Uh, and Ashish will also brief about, along with, while doing the demo, he'll brief about the success stories as well. Okay. So coming to topic today, the calibration process. When we work with the customers across industries, we found these are the current challenges at industry, okay, at marketplace. When we talk to the calibration plant people, okay. So which are those challenges? Increased overall compliance, that is one main issue, okay, and you need to be compliant, especially the industries like pharma, oil and gas, chemicals, okay. Then no real-time evidences in execution, that is another headache for the organizations, okay. They need to there are no real-time evidences, okay. What you do is the paperwork is done at later stage. So data captured on paper during execution. So paper copies has to be maintained. Okay, you need to maintain all records, right, in calibration. Time consuming maintenance process due to multi-level approval and paperwork. Again, here the main issue is when it is a one level or two level approvals and non-availability of people, then you will have to maintain the paper, retain the paper and do the approval process. So it is time consuming in industry. Work performed on shop floor and then results were entered in SAP after order is completed, which I talked about. So delay in data entry into SAP leads to serious non-compliances. So wherever the industry has compliances fulfillment need to be done. So how we help there? So Crave C calibration solution helps you to address all those challenges at marketplace. First is being again, I will repeat here, though many of the things we have mentioned here are about SAP, but these solutions work well with non-SAP. So seamless integration with your SAP or any ERP. PM module. Okay, that is the key functionality of this solution. Self assignment of working. So so it addresses these issues. It assign self assignment is done through this application. Okay, so release order, create inspection lot, download MICs, so display so these are the features of key functionalities we are covering, and we will cover it, we will show it through the application demonstration. So the benefits here, as I mentioned earlier, we are addressing the challenges of marketplace. One is of course 100% paperless activity. You need not have to maintain any, retain in any files or maintain any papers. Okay. Um, Increase in productivity to the almost 30%. It is again, this is based on our case studies and success stories we have measured. Up to 80% reduction in total cost of ownership, TCO. Okay, 80% efficiency follow-up jobs. Okay, so these are certain percentages are based on our earlier implementations and success stories, which we have been worked in across industries. So as I mentioned, this is the industry proven mobility and web solution, out of box integration with SAP as well as any ERP. Then quick go live in 2 to 8 weeks you have mentioned, of course, because our solution, it covers almost 60 to 65% of the requirement at marketplace, and remaining 30-35%, of course, the customization is required based on your own organizational processes or your own industry activities. Okay. um, so with this, this is about the C calibration solution which we wanted to discuss and demonstrate today. So with this, I request Ashish to brief you about the solution, brief you about the complete process flow and the application demonstration. Ashish, over to you.
Thank you, Murli.
Yeah. So would you like to share your screen, Ashish?
Yes, I am. So do you see my screen, right?
Yes, yes, we can see your screen.
So hello everyone. So as Murli explained regarding the calibration process, so regarding features, functionalities, so I will demonstrate the actual flow, how user can do the calibration in the offline and without paper, with the digitization of this application, with the digitization of this process. So before starting the demo, I will explain the process flow. So as a part of the calibration process and based on the different industry business scenarios, we have built one process flow in our mobile app, and this whole mobile application is fully configurable. Like suppose if you don't want some type of approval, or some process flow is not available in your case, so that we can disable it from the configuration. And if like you want some other scenarios, that is or some approval part which is available in your case but not displaying here, so that as a part of the configuration we can add in this application. So here in this application, the whole application works in the offline, like means many times whenever user goes for capturing the calibration activity, that time most of the times in the production area there is no internet connectivity. So to avoid that, this mobile application can works for the result recording in the offline only, and whenever the user wants to transfer the data to the system, so that time user can sync. So that's why here we have displaying like which activity will be online and which activity will be offline. So here like first part will be my data creation. So that will be the master data creation. So master data creation will be in your SAP, or if you have some other system which you are using currently for the calibration where you are storing the master data. So that all system will be the part block number one, where your all the instruments, maintenance plan, task list, if you have the schedule and you want the schedule approval, so that whole process will be available in your that system. Then from the mobile, whenever the user will log in from this block number two, the user will get the list of orders, list of work which is available for the calibration. So this activity will be online. So whenever user will log in first time, so that time we will download the data into the mobile application. Then in the third step, user can do the work assignment. So work here in the mobile app, there are multiple scenarios like self assignment, or if you have the scenario like supervisor to technician assignment. So for that also one Fury application will be there where supervisor will assign the work to the technician, and the technician will perform the activity on the tablet. So that scenario is also available here. Then user can release the order, and once the order is released, then inspection lot number can generate. So this activity will work in the online in the mobile tablet, mobile device. So like this application for the calibration we can use if you are using the measuring point, then based on the measuring point also it will work. But like some if you are using the SAP, and in the SAP the plant maintenance module is integrated with the QM, and you want to use the additional feature of the quality notifications and materials, other things, result recording of the QM module. So that time also this application will can integrate and can work directly with your system. Then the fourth step will, from this step the whole process will work in the offline. So here like in most of the system there is no digital approval process. So here like before starting the work we have added pre-approval process where the technician will visit at the site like in the production area, and the owner of your equipment or instrument will provide the approval, digital approval, that there is no batch running at my end, and you can start your maintenance activity or calibration activity, and that will be captured as a date and time stamp in the application. At this time the production person has provided the approval for starting the calibration activity. So that will be the point number four that I will demonstrate in the mobile app how it will work. Then if you are using the barcode and you want to validate that the technician, you want to ensure that the technician is performing the calibration of the correct instrument or not. So for that we can scan the barcode before starting the work. So that will validate that user is doing the same instrument calibration or not. Then the fifth step will be result recording. So in the result recording, user can capture the readings, and at the runtime, it will show the result. Like for that point that your result is going outside the limit or it is within the limit, so it will display with the alert with the different color for that specific row. Then here there is option for like measuring points. If you are using the fixed point calibration, where user will just get the raw data sheet in the mobile and user has to do the result recording. Then if you want to use the material reservation, so in the material like bomb, non-bomb, and if you want to use it for the calibration, then you can use this feature. And in the mobile itself, the user can do the work confirmation. So like most of the like users are doing manually activity on the paper, and then again going into the system and then entering the results when it is started. But this mobile app will automatically capture the date and time. So it will be like date and time stamp will be available when exactly it is started. So that details will be available in your system. Based on that, the reports will be available, like cost reports, how much time the specific user has spent on the calibration, and so the multiple reports that can be configured in the system based on it. Then once the confirmation is done, then next step will be the post approval. So the post approval by like supervisor or production person. So this is configurable. So the person will verify that user has entered the readings correctly or not, and the instrument is ready to use or not. So based on that, the production person, or if you have the QA, so based on your scenario, whatever it is mentioned in your SOP. So based on that, the product person can provide the approval. Once the whole activity is done, then user can do this point number 8. So technically complete, the supervisor will provide the approval. So this will also work in the offline. And like for the calibration or preventive maintenance process, most of the times the user has to stick the label, like what will be the next when the calibration is completed and when next calibration is due. So that label printing is also possible in the offline. So right now currently the user is coming into the engineering area or wherever the printer is available, and based on that he is taking printing the label, and then again going to the production area for sticking that specific label on the instrument. So to avoid that, this mobile application is also integrated with the offline printers like Zebra printers by using the Bluetooth connectivity, where best we can design the label format based on your SOP or requirement, and from the printer the user can print the label. So this one is a point number 9. Then once the whole activity is done in the offline, user can sync the data. So user sync data means there will be one button available where user will click on it. So all the data will upload to the your SAP system or non-SAP system. And like if you are doing the manually, you have to keep the paper records. So to avoid that, the final calibration certificate will be available in the system itself. Like whenever there will be an audit, you have to, and the auditor asks to show me the report for this specific instrument calibration. So you have to just enter the order number or that instrument number, and in the system you will get the report. So that report format also we have designed that I will show in the demo. So this is the process flow, and now I will show you the demo how actually it will work. So this one is the mobile application. So whenever the user will log in into the application, user will first get login screen in the mobile, and user will enter his credentials here. So once you log in, so this will download the data, like whatever the instruments are due for the calibration, which is maintained in your system, that will download here. Now, if you see here, all these fields are configurable. Like suppose you don't want location or block field here. So we have the configurable system. We can remove this. If you want some other field which is currently available or your team is following, so that field also we can add here. Here in the info button, if you want additional information like criticality ranking, then equipment number, inspection lot generated or not, order description, so that fields are available. Now suppose in your system thousands of orders are available here, but user want to do the calibration of the specific instrument. So here fuzzy search is available. So in the fuzzy search, like whatever, if you know the just description like nitrogen or something, so you will just enter NIT, it will display you the order having the containing the description as NIT. Okay, if you don't know this specific, you know, like based on the date criteria, like you want to check the list of the orders between the specific dates. So here we have added the filter for the date range as well, where user can select it based on the date range. Then here the scenario is like self assignment. So right now if you see, there are 6 orders available for the calibration, but out of 6, suppose today I have to do the calibration of only one specific instrument. So I will select this radio button and it will assign the work to myself. So if you see in the my orders, it will display the one order which recently I have assigned. It means that I am going to work on this specific calibration of the instrument. Now for capturing or doing the result recording, I will go inside this order. So in this order, you will get the details like instrument description, calibration range, instrument range, acceptable limit. So all these details are configurable. And this is our process flow that I have explained, like selection of master instrument, pre-approval. Okay, so first step is the selection of the master instrument. Now I have to do the calibration of this nitrogen gas, but for pressure gauge. But for performing the pressure gauge calibration, suppose I need some masters. Okay, or if you have the scenario like some vendor is coming from their masters, so that masters also we can maintain in this system, whatever the vendor is coming, and then we can use this system for the transactional activity. So here like first step will be the master instrument selection. So in the master instrument selection, here the list of masters will be available. So now suppose I want like this industrial pressure calibrator for executing the calibration. So I will select it, I will add. So it means like for executing the calibration of nitrogen gas, I need this master. If you want the multiple master, you can add the multiple as well. Then now if you see the inspection lot number is not generated or not applicable. So here if you once you release the work, so after the release, automatically the inspection lot number will generate. And for those inspection lot, whatever the characteristics or fixed point user has to capture as a part of the raw data sheet, that will be available in the measurement section. Now the second step is the pre-approval. So this pre-approval means like this technician will visit the production area, and the production area will ask the person of the owner of the instrument that I have to calibration due for your instrument and I want pre-approval for starting the activity. So that production person will click on this and will enter his ID, unique ID and PIN, and he will provide the pre-approval with remark and submit. So if the entered credentials are correct, then it will digitally pre-approve the work with date and timestamp. So it will be available like at this time my work was approved. Then like if you have UPI code or QR code at instrument level, so you can do the verify instrument as well. So here user will verify that instrument user is doing the calibration of the correct instrument or not. So that will be available here as a verify instrument. So once verify instrument is done, the next step will be the work start. So here user will start the work. Like in the work start, we have also configured the scenario like many times you want to capture the reading in degree Celsius, but the master instrument is displaying or it is capable of showing in milliampere or current. So that time you can use this tool to convert the value from milliampere to that specific unit. So that tool is also available in this system. So for now, I will just start it. So now once I have started, if you see here in the measurement section, whatever the raw data sheet like user is doing or executing on the manually on the paper, that will be available in the mobile. And it will show like fixed point where user has to capture the reading. Like suppose if my master reading is 10, what will be the output? Suppose my reading is coming it as 11. So if you see here, it is calculating like for the 10, if my acceptable limit is 0.2, so it will calculate the value and it will check that my reading is coming within the limit or outside the limit, and it will display the result it as a pass or fail. If it is entered reading is outside the high, so it will display it as a fail. So at the runtime, user can check that user has entered correctly or not. Like many times, user is getting the actual value, proper values in the instrument, but due to the typo error or some error, they are entering the wrong values. So to avoid that, here at the runtime, it will display that your results are pass or fail. Same way, user can do for the remaining points. So for 20.1, my result is pass. Then suppose 25. So now once I have done with the all points, I will save it. And once it is saved, like if you want to add the additional information, so additional information like what was the receiving condition of the instrument, temperature of the room at the time of executing the calibration, humidity, and remark. So this the executor technician will enter the remark. Then once he is done with the activity, he will just save it. And if user has done with the activity like calibration is done, then user can confirm and proceed. So once the work is confirmed, it will be gray out and it will for the display purpose. Then only reviewer will review that the user has entered correct readings or not. So this will be the check by. So this check by like supervisor will check. So if all your entered readings are correct, so that your usage decision will be it as a can be used, and this person can check the readings that user has entered correctly or not. Or if we want to change, then yes, we can provide the provision to correct the readings if required. It based on SOPs. So if click on the check by, the person will enter his ID and he will submit it. So here also it will capture the date and timestamp. Then final will be the take-home. So here take-home, the technician will hand over the instrument to the owner of the production person, and that owner will provide the approval again and submit it. So once this review is done, now all activity user has executed in the offline. Now user will, if user want to execute another calibration, yes, user can go back and do the other calibration as well. But if user want to transfer all these entered reading to the system, which is, so user can have to just click on the sync data. So once the sync data is done, so all the data or activity captured in the mobile app will transfer to the system. Now like for the audit purpose, if you want to see the report, so you don't need to keep the paper in this in your department. You have to just go into the system, and here like we will provide this type of a report that I will show one format. So here you will get like calibration report. So in the calibration report, all the details for the equipment, then for instrument, if you have the acceptable limit, temperature, humidity, that details will be available. Which instrument you have used for executing the calibration, so that details will be captured here. And in the bottom here it will be available like performed by which person has executed the work. That person name and employee code will be available. Then check by who was the supervisor who has provided the approval. That details will be available with date and timestamp. And in the next page here it will be available like readings. Whatever the readings you are entering, that will be available in the system, and it will be available in the report, like what was the measurement value, what is the error, and what was the result, and what was the overall result of the usage decision, that will be displayed here. So this will be the use as a final calibration certificate, and it can be configurable and it can be developed based on your SOP or your requirement. So this is the whole calibration process. We can digitize by using the this mobile application.
So thank you very much for the wonderful demonstration of the application. In fact, see, we can digitalize the calibration process, and we would like to have even one-to-one interaction with you if you are planning to have any digitalization of automation of calibration process in your organization. So with this, in fact, we would like, if anybody has any queries, you can put up your queries in question and answer or even in chat also, so that we can reply to those queries. So in the meantime, we also wanted to run one small question poll. Nikita, can you just display the question poll over here? Yeah, I will take Q&A session after this question poll. So this is just 1 minute activity for you all participants. Here we have asked three questions, and we wanted you to put up your answers. So the first was, are you currently facing any challenges in calibration process? Of course, we discussed the calibration process challenges in current processes at marketplace. And I'm sure if you are using the manual process, you also will have similar challenges. So would like to know, you can mention in yes or no. The second question was, are you planning to digitalize or automate your current calibration process in near future? So, and we would like to know more. So there, so please put up your answer yes or no. And would you like to have 15 minutes of dedicated discussion with Crave team to know more about how effectively we can digitalize the calibration process. Though we have demonstrated the application over here in one-to-one discussion, we can understand more about the current landscape from your side, and then we can definitely um, uh, help you there for the automation of the entire process for more effective efficiency and productivity. So we would like to have the answers yes or no here. So um, if this question poll, if you all have answered, I would like to take quickly the uh, other discussions in chat. So Ashish, there was a few questions. Okay.
Yeah, Murli.
Um, the question first was whether the digital transfer whether suppliers should have this digital transformation software. So I have mentioned there that our software cCalibration will take care of automation and integration with your ERP. So we will take care of that, right?
Correct, correct.
So the second question was how due date will inform by mail or message? How
Yeah,
the,
so
yeah,
whenever the user will do the calibration from the mobile app, so based on the current date, the next due date will generate, and it will be available in the mobile app like new orders whenever it is generated. And if we can configure the email as well, so based on whatever the due date is for that specific instrument, and that owner of the instrument or area person of that specific instrument will get the mail.
great. Yeah. So it will be through mail, right? And yeah,
Yes.
okay, okay. So yeah, I hope Mandar it has answered your question. We have one more question from Mr. Arun. Okay, that he wanted to have the recording of this session, so he had joined later. So yes, Arunji, we will send you the recording. You will get the recording in a day from our side. So I think these are the questions. Um, if anybody has any further query, either you can write it over here, or we are just um, giving our mail ID over here. So you can send the mail. It is crave so contact at craveinfotech.com. I have put up the common mail ID over here. So if your query, you can send your share your queries over here on this mail ID, and we can answer you all. We can connect one on one if required. So just one more question is there, Ashish. So Mr. Mandar has asked again that we use SAP PM to organize maintenance
Mhm.
activity. Okay, so is it possible to integrate this system with your existing system? Is this software can be customized?
Yes, so this software is the extension to the ACP PM only, like whatever the maintenance activity you are doing the current system. So like you are doing manually or on the paper base. So this software will be the extension to your SAP system, SAP PM, and yes, based on your requirement that we can add or customize it.
Okay. So, yeah, Mr. Mandar, hope this has answered your question. So, as mentioned by Ashish, yes, we can. It is extension to SAP PM, and it can easily integrate with your current activity, current ERP. Uh, so, with this, we have answered all questions. Ashish.
Yes, Murli.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I think we with this we can close this session if because as there are no any other questions further. So as I mentioned, you can please write to us on contact at craveinfotech.com, and we will reply to that if in case of any answer further. So with this, we will be closing this session. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar, and we will keep you posted for all our upcoming webinars. through mail and our communication channel. Thank you so much for joining today.